welcome today to our Lumos podcast. I am your host, Iris Medina, Customer Service Manager for Lumos Learning. Today I'm here with Anneda Nettleton, an experienced educator and consultant. Anneda, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes, thank you. I'm a veteran educator with 17 years experience. Currently, I teach fifth grade language arts, which embeds reading and writing, and I teach at a high-performing public school. I've also taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade language arts, and I've also worked as my school's library media specialist, where I worked with 1st through 8th grades in the literacy components.
So from what I am gathering, you have a vast background in education and teaching reading. What do you feel is the most important part of learning to read?
Well, I feel that students become good readers when they master key foundational skills. For example, when they learn to pay attention to punctuation and they pause accordingly, those are great foundational skills that they must master.
Wonderful. In your mind, what do you think helps a student become a fluent reader?
I think one of the biggest things is for students to be able to practice reading fluently, but I also think that's important for them to hear modeling. They need to hear the text read correctly, but they also need multiple exposures to the text. Once they get those multiple exposures, they become more fluent in paying attention to the punctuation, which in turn helps them become stronger readers. Without comprehending what they're read, of course, they're not going to become fluent readers. So it's important for them to understand the key vocabulary, and by paying attention to punctuation, having exposure to the text multiple times, and then being able to understand what they've read, their comprehension can grow. It's also really important that they're willing to look back in the text for answers. That will, of course, help them become more confident and foster a sense of understanding.
Thank you so much. That is really great. You previously had the opportunity to preview the new Lumos reading program. Can you please share some of your insights into the program with me and what your thoughts are?
Yes, well, I love that the Lumos reading program provides repeated exposure to a single text. The students are able to interact with the text in different ways, which is a phenomenal way for them to build fluency. I love that it starts out with the students reading a cold time read aloud, and then they immediately follow that with the next activity being a hot timing read aloud. As they record themselves reading the passage, they have the ability to assess themselves as they listen to the recording being played back. And I feel like the ability for students to be able to assess them things is an important skill that will help them become the best readers they can be. As they self-assess, if they don't like what they're hearing, then they certainly have the option of re-recording, which I felt was a phenomenal tool that the Lumos reading program offered. As this teacher listens to their recording, they're able to compare the master recording, which is a recording that the teacher has recorded ahead of time. And I thought for the students to be able to see how their recording compares to the teacher's really emphasizes modeling and allows the student to hear what proper fluency sounds like. So, the repeated exposure and then the way that the students are able to interact with the text through a variety of activities is phenomenal.
Thank you. How do you feel this program can benefit students and teachers?
Well, I think as a teacher, one thing that we're always trying to identify is our students' weaknesses, those gaps, and what we can do to benefit them. And, with becoming more fluent readers, that can be difficult, especially when you have a class of, 25 children. But the Lumos reading program is so personalized in the sense of the student is recording themselves reading the passage, and then that's compared to the teacher's recording. And that yields data that is super beneficial to the teacher. The teacher can take that data and see where the student's weaknesses lie, and then they can build lessons that will help the students. Obviously teachers are busy. So the fact that the program has built in feedback that the teacher has, right available to them without a lot of work, that's a phenomenal tool. I also think the fact that there are questions built into the program that go directly with the Common Core English Language Arts standards. Those questions are varied. Some of those questions are multiple choice, whereas some of those are vocabulary questions with matching. It's a variety of activities that keep the students interested, but it also keeps them thinking and applying different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So it's not just about memorization.
Thank you. If you were teaching reading and your school purchased the program, tell us how you would implement Lumos Reading Program to improve not only fluency, but comprehension for your students as well.
Well, I think, as I've already said, the Lumos Reading Program, it's a highly desirable tool, and I would definitely be excited to use it in my classroom. I think that obviously I would need to begin by just familiarizing my students and the parents with the program. I think anytime that you can build support from your parents, then it becomes important, and the students, want to take that seriously. I think using the program on a daily basis is really important. And I like that the lessons are divided into 5 parts. I think that fits perfectly into the school week. It makes sense for day 1, the students to begin doing the first read aloud of the text where they have the cold timing. And then on day 2, the students are able to do the read along portion of the lesson. And then moving along on day 3, the students then do the hot timing where they do a read aloud again. That repeated exposure to the text is going to build fluency, and it's going to build confidence, especially, in students that may be struggling readers as they interact with the text on multiple occasions. Day 4, the students are able to visit vocabulary and practice understanding those words, which is really important. And then on day 5, the students are able to wrap up the lesson with the quiz time portion, and that's where they're going to move through those questions with varying complexity. And I think that, really is a phenomenal way to implement it on a week basis. And going back to the data that I mentioned, once the teacher has the data, I think then they can take the next week and use that data to focus on mini lessons that help with the gap areas for students. So basically, I would use the tool for a week and then take the data from that tool, use mini lessons, and then back on week 3, I would be ready to do the next lesson.
Wow, that's really great. I thank you for your expertise, and we look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Thank you for taking the time to view the program, to provide us your feedback and your expertise with all your knowledge. So thank you for joining us today, Anneda, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you so much.